I know. I'm a little late to the party with this since pretty much everybody's already talked about it, but let me just throw in my 2 cents on it, alright? So, YouTube's finally removed dislikes across the entire site in order to curb bullying and harassment. Let's be real here. We know the actual reason that is they're still really mad about getting their last few YouTube rewinds downvoted into oblivion. Shout out to Mr. Beast and PewDiePie for making their own rewinds that properly reflect what the creator community is actually about. The post on Twitter that Team YouTube made about this change instantly got ratioed into oblivion. In their efforts to stop bullying and harassment, they ended up getting bullied and harassed themselves.
Ironic.
To reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, especially small creators, you'll no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. This comes after lots of research, testing, and consideration. Now, what they mean by the dislike button is staying is that you can still click on it, but no one's going to actually see how many dislikes there are, only the creator. So, it's effectively worthless. YouTube says whenever creators turned off likes and dislikes on content in the past, it resulted in them getting bullied, so everybody just got their dislikes turned off, to stop the bullying and harassment. A lot of people in the responses to Team YouTube are saying that YouTube is not doing this for small creators, but because corporations, politicians, and Hollywood are getting upset that their trailers and videos are getting downvoted. And they're right, but let's pretend that YouTube was actually interested in stopping bullying and harassment of creators. And let me start off by saying I believe true bullying and harassment isn't just criticism, a difference of opinion, or getting cursed out. They could start by preventing harassers from making tons of spam accounts. I've seen dozens of times in the past where a small streamer had their entire stream ruined because they have to spend the entire time playing whack-a-mole with 12-year-old Bucky and his 900 accounts, posting personal info or threatening them. Doing something about reported comments left by harassers that contain legitimate threats and doxing info is also something that should have been done ages ago. I know Susan's got enough of that Hollywood bribe money to hire some actual humans to do manual investigations of certain comments and find out if they need to get the authorities involved. Lastly, and this is the big one, false copyright strikes should be punished with extreme prejudice. For something that's supposed to be a felony in the USA, I think I've only read a handful of articles and stories where someone managed to get the full penalty for filing a false copyright strike. You got some YouTubers and streamers who've practically made a career off of false copyright strikes after getting butthurt and only managed to get a slap on the wrist when they got caught. The reason why I mentioned that harassment could be greatly curbed by just doing these three things is getting dislike bombed and a bunch of mean comments can be disheartening, but real harassment tends to come from a single individual or a handful of people. I've been ratioed before on Twitter, where I'll piss off some K-pop stans and thousands of them will come and blow up my notifications before they buzz off like a swarm of bees. A mob really isn't that much of a problem online. They don't have that much interest to keep going before they find the next thing that upsets them. Stalkers, in my opinion, is where legit harassment comes from, and they often teeter on the edge of the rules to avoid getting into actual trouble. I've got a few stalkers myself, including one who's going on 5+ years of cycling through spam accounts to try to pretend he's a nutter longtime fan that wants to just talk to me. Believe me, I'd rather deal with K-pop stans because they're at least fun to rile up, and then they get bored quick. Stalkers are a whole other matter because you know that's someone that needs to be on a few watch lists if they're behaving like that for years. All that aside, I see YouTube turning off dislikes as something that's gonna backfire on them in the long run. I use dislikes on a video for a lot of different reasons, like to predetermine the quality of a video before I start watching it. Let's say I'm looking up how to build a desk on YouTube, and the video I click on has thousands of downvotes. One could safely assume that either the quality or the information in the video is trash, and you should probably click away. Dislikes are also a great way to find out if a video is a scam, or is 8 minutes of YouTube stretching out the video without getting to the point. It's an early warning system, and for corporations, it's free customer feedback, something that they used to really want. Unfortunately, corporations these days aren't interested in your feedback. They just want to shove products in your face and make you like it. It's cheaper for them to bribe YouTube into disabling dislikes than it is to use their imaginations to make something I want to see. Even the co-creator of YouTube, Jawed Karim, opposes the idea of removing the dislike button. He's the guy who posted the first ever video on YouTube itself called Me at the Zoo way back in 2005 during much better times in my opinion. Karim changed the description of his first YouTube video to say this: "Watching Matt Koval's announcement of the removal of dislikes, I thought something was off. The spoken words did not match the eyes. The video reminded me of an interview Admiral Jeremiah Denton gave in 1966. I have never seen a less enthusiastic, more reluctant announcement of something that is supposed to be great. Ouch." My prediction is the next step in YouTube's course is the removal of comments completely, followed by the view counts, so corporations don't get embarrassed when their big expensive trailers get low views. I think this result for YouTube was inevitable with this much pressure from powerful corporations. It wasn't going to matter if it was Google or if it was Karim in charge. Big tech and other media should have been broken up and punished a long time ago to start setting an example for other corporations. We're in the end times for social media as we know it, in my opinion, and I don't think it's long before the ability to post content, videos, comments, and ratings are going to be disabled for the majority outside of a few approved brand-safe creators. Corporations and brand accounts are going to be pretty much the only ones left then. And by that point, YouTube is just going to be cable TV, and I'll definitely be taking a hike then. But before I go, I wanted to apologize for not posting as much this year. I've said a bunch that 2021's been a very, very rough year for me. A roller coaster, to say the least. I had a lot of great stuff happen to me, like starting my own business, and then Hurricane Ida managed to damage my home pretty badly, and my physical store location too. It's hard to say when I can actually return to a normal video posting schedule, but I'm hoping that'll happen before the end of the year. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. Hopefully I'll be able to, like I said, return to a normal video posting schedule soon. And Pimp Master Broda out. Peace.